Okay, here we go. Welcome, everyone. This is Monday, February the 9th, 2015. First order of business is the roll call. Ms. Golden.
Yes. Mayor Curley?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Mathis?
Here.
Alderperson Blanks?
Here.
Duncan?
Here.
Keene? Here. Lindeman? Here. Santon?
Here.
7 present.
All right, the chair detects a quorum, so we will proceed. And we're very pleased to have with us Reverend Tom Murdoch, First Christian Church. If you would step to the podium and offer an invocation, ask that everyone please stand and remain standing for the pledge.
You bow with me. God of all creation, we give you thanks for this day and each day. Bless our mayor and aldermen as they seek to lead our community. Help them as they attend to the important issues of our community, to share their strengths, their wisdom, and to build upon their common desire for the good of Tullahoma and beyond. May they think clearly, speak confidently, and act courageously to make Tullahoma better today than it was yesterday. Especially we ask for blessings on those in our community in need, who work hard but struggle to get ahead, those who lack health care and basic needs. For you've always favored the powerless and most vulnerable. We ask that men and women of goodwill from all across the political spectrum might find ways to cooperate for the good of all. Yes. Always asking for your blessings on this day and each day. Amen. Amen. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor Bernard. All right. Next, we have one recognition, and that's our honorary alderman. Mr. Mathis, if you would do the honors, please.
I'd be glad to. We have with us tonight Mr. Dante Battle. Dante is a senior at Tullahoma High School, plans to attend Harding.
Yes.
And what's it called, Searcy, Tennessee?
In Searcy, Arkansas.
Oh, not in Tennessee then.
That's it.
That's good. All right. Searcy, Arkansas. And he's one of these individuals. He's on our newscast, our hype,
yes,
where he gets to talk. He's the Swami, and he's all kind of stuff where he does trivia and he makes answers questions about all different things at the high school. Does an outstanding job. Very personable individual. Seems to have a unique smile about him everywhere he goes. He's also a wrestler. Our wrestling team had one great year. They're regional champions and moving on now to the state. He is a part of that group. We're certainly glad to have him. Whatever I feel like that, whatever you choose to do, you'll do well.
Thank you.
Very nice. Thank you, Mr. Mathis. Mr. Battles, anything that you would like to add? Welcome, by the way.
Other than I'm also part of the theater program. That's just about it, yes, sir.
Oh, good, good, good. Anyone in the audience that you would like to recognize?
My mother in the back.
All right, welcome. Well, if you would stand there at your desk, we have a recognition certificate to present to you. This recognizes you, certified that you have been appointed an honorary alderman for this day.
Church of Christ. Yeah.
Thank you. Congratulations. All right, we're now ready to open the meeting up to anyone in the audience that would like to address the board on any matter not later on the agenda. Anyone have anything to say? Seeing none, we will proceed then. We're ready for board reports. Ms. Keene, if you could get us started.
Okay. I attended the Chamber of Commerce Coffee last week at the Beechcraft and the Heritage Museum. It was very, very well attended. It always is out there. It's a wonderful place to be able to showcase, so that was enjoyable. And I also attended the legislator dinner where State Senator Bowling and Representative Matheny were in. They brought a lot of information to all of us, and that was an enjoyable evening as well. And then this morning, attended the Community Summit for the Anti-Drug Coalition with all of the other fellow board members. And that was very, very informative. And we do appreciate you leading us on that. So we really enjoyed it. That's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Mr. Duncan.
Thank you, Mayor. I also attended the Chamber Coffee, the legislative dinner, and the Coffee County Anti-Drug Coalition Summit this morning, which I am on the board of directors with that organization, and I am just grateful that everyone has come together that sees the real problem that is here and addressing it head on. And it'll be a blessing, I know, to our children, to just to the community, to make it a much better place. And there's so many things that go so wrong when you kind of put your head in the sand and ignore it. So it's a blessing to be a part of the organization and to be a part of the community coming together like that. That's pretty much it.
Good. Thank you very much. Dr. Blanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Also, since our last meeting, I was also at the legislative dinner with the senator and the representative. We had a chamber banquet, I think, since our last meeting, and I think most everybody was there. That's always enjoyable, solid auction, and we recognize people that have done a lot for the community. Also went to the drug summit thing today at the high school. That was very informative. And that's about it. I would like to remind or recognize the Tullahoma High School swim team will be taking a crew to the state swim meet in Knoxville this weekend, and I will be up there officiating at that meet. So go Water Cats, or whatever they're called.
Wild Water Cats.
I'll be working the meet.
It's sort of an oxymoron, isn't it? Water Cats.
The Wild Water Cats.
Water Cats. I'm married to that.
Thank you, Dr. Blanks. Mr. Mathis.
Yes, I too attended the legislative dinner. I was very impressed with Judge Matheny and James Bowler. I thought that their presentation was very well organized and did an outstanding job. Today I did attend the Drug Community Summit Coalition. Also, we have things, and also today I was listening, and I was very impressed with our police chief. He did an outstanding job presenting his information, and I told him that when I first started hearing that, I was trying to figure out who that was, and it was him. He did an outstanding job and did a great job, and that's a compliment. Accepted it, and he did. I was very, very pleased with the way he presented himself, and he did really well. Also, our basketball tournament is in Tullahoma this week, our district basketball, so we'll have a lot of people visiting Tullahoma. We'll have a lot of teams coming through here. The wrestlers leave Wednesday, and they'll go Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the state tournament. We have 10 kids who have qualified for the state championships.
Excellent.
Very impressive.
Yeah, very good. Like you, I have heard Chief Blackwell before speak publicly, and he really does a good job. He's very talented. Mr. Stanton.
Thank you, Mayor. On behalf of TUB, I attended a two-day legal conference in Nashville last week. TUB had a great month in January. He added 34 new customers, so still on a roll. LightTube's doing great things. Now has 3,345 customers. Tomorrow I will attend with a bunch of local officials, Mayor and Mr. Baltz will attend the State Senate and Labor Committee hearing on Senator Bowling's legislation, which very simply is trying to allow local municipalities like Tullahoma to spread fiber outside the city, outside our electrical boundaries. And ATT and a lot of the large organizations have put a halt on that one. There was a 1999 piece of legislation passed that prevented people like LightTube to TUB to expand outside our boundaries. And that's a piece of legislation we're trying to get changed. So we're going to go to a hearing tomorrow and try to show support for that. So any citizens who would like to attend the hearing tomorrow, please come and lend support. The hearing will take place at 1:30 tomorrow on the Hill. I attended the Coffee County anti-drug meeting today. And by the way, Christine, who's leading that up, Christina Clark, she told us that non-compliance in Tullahoma, in other words, underage folks going into retail stores and buying beer illegally is now down to 5%. And that's quite an achievement. Certainly Chief Blackwell's leadership, we've given him a lot of kudos tonight, His leadership and also the beer board's efforts, I think, in penalizing irresponsible vendors, I think has helped it too. So thanks to my colleagues here. Like everyone on the board, I attended in late January the legislative dinner with Representative Matheny and State Senator Bowling, and also the Chamber banquet in late January. Man, that's all I've got.
Very good. Thank you very much, Ms. Stanton. Ms. Lindeman.
Thank you, Mayor. I too attended all the chamber stuff and the legislation dinner. I would like to thank you for doing the initiative to get the Coffee County Drug Coalition together, and that we're taking a good stance on it. I do want to, Chief Blackwell reminded us, I used to throw my pills down the toilet when they go.
Sure.
And maybe that's why there's crazy people running around, I don't know. But you're not supposed to do that. And at the lobby in the police department, correct, Chief? There's a box there, and all you have to do is take the old pills, take them out of the bottles, correct? Put them in a baggie.
Throw the bottles in there.
Oh, you throw the bottles into, and just take them there. So don't put them in our water system. So that was a good thing. And I do want to remind everybody, this month is National Heart Month. So, and women need to be checked too. Last Friday was Go Red Day for women. So if you haven't had stress tests or if you have heart problems or whatever, get them checked out, because it only takes a second. So that's all I have.
Very good.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mr. Battles, anything that you would like to add?
Well, as it was mentioned earlier, we will be sending 10 guys up to state from our region. That's more than any other team. That'll be this weekend. We're going up to Franklin. Also, our wrestling team, and showing support for the kid at Blackman that that had the tragedy. Well, and showing our support for him, we're also coming up with something to do. So far, what was thrown out there was dyeing our hair orange, but well, we decided to do that because we're like brother schools almost, really close to their school and Walker Valley. But also our theater department was trying to think of ways to entertain the community, I guess you could say. So we were talking about doing something maybe monthly or every now and then for the community, and I'd like to throw that out there.
Good. I think that's very interesting. Ms. Lindeman, you might meet with Mr. Battles at some point and just share with some of the Arts Council activities that are going on as well. Yeah.
We'd be happy for them to join us.
Sure.
Or work together or something to get something going.
Good. Very good. Thank you again for being here.
Some of you who do not know, Blackman had two kids who wrestled in the finals that night. One of them got third and one of them won the championship, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
And after the tournament that night, they were out and they were driving and ended up having a car wreck, and he killed one of them, and the other kid is in the hospital, but I think he had a real bad concussion, but this one young man lost his life.
Okay, thank you. Just a couple of reminders. The Board of Education meeting is, our meeting with the Board of Education, our annual meeting with them is this Thursday. I believe all of you plan to attend. I was going to suggest that I'm open to suggestions. It doesn't matter to me. We talked last meeting about this board adopting a street here in town, just to show support for the cleanup efforts. And so I was going to suggest Clement Drive. I mean, again, I'm open. It doesn't matter to me. That would go from like this at the foot of the viaduct to Funeral Home at that road. Is that okay with everybody?
Sure. All in favor?
So the next cleanup day was going to be this Saturday, Valentine's Day, but it's supposed to be just really, really cold Saturday, and so we've pushed that out until the 21st. So if any of you are able to be there on the 21st, we appreciate it. And a bit of really good news, in the month of January, there were 10 new home starts in Tullahoma, which, to the best of my knowledge, that's the largest number of home starts in some, perhaps years, I'm not sure, so it's really, really good news there. And some of you, perhaps all of you, are familiar with the Tullahoma timetable that's published on a fairly regular basis by the Historic Preservation Society. Well, the new timetable is out. It's the 24th edition, and it's available at Couches, downtown Tullahoma, for only $10. And there's some really very interesting information in there about the history of Tullahoma. So if you have an interest in that kind of thing, would encourage you to stop by and pick one up. All right, we're ready for the report from the city administrator, Mr. Balls.
I have nothing tonight.
Any questions of Mr. Balls? All right, thank you. We're ready for the consent agenda. We have 6 items. Item number 1509, minutes of the January 26, 2015 meeting. 1510, December 2014 financial report. 1511, audit services contract renewal. 1512, benefits brokerage and consulting services. Resolution number 1637, a resolution to authorize political subdivisions' participation in the Tennessee Consolidated Retirement System in accordance with Tennessee Code Annotated Title 8, Section 34 through 37 for adoption. And Resolution 1638, a resolution to amend the City of Tullahoma fiscal year 15 operating budget. Is there a motion that we adopt the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second. Motion properly seconded. All those in favor of the consent agenda as presented, vote green. Opposed, vote red. Motion passes 7-0. Ready for two items of old business. 14-118, appointments to the Board of Zoning Appeals. I'm pleased to announce that Ms. Nancy Eads, a former member of this board, has expressed an interest in serving on the Board of Zoning Appeals. So the chair would recognize a motion that we appoint Ms. Eads.
I so move.
Second.
Proper motion, proper second. Any other nominations? Seeing none, all those in favor of the appointment of Ms. Eads, vote green. Opposed, vote red. Motion passes 7-0.
Jody has a question.
I'm sorry.
I do want to mention that we still have one additional
That's
vacancy on the Board of Zoning Appeals, so if anyone in the public is interested, please let us know and we'll get you an application.
Yeah, very good, thank you. All right, we now are ready for an appointment to the Airport Authority. Once again, we have many good individuals. Mr. Mathis, do you have a nomination?
I do. I would like to nominate Mr. Donald Daniel to serve that position.
I'll second.
Proper motion. Are there any other nominations? We're ready to vote. All those wishing to appoint Dr. Don Daniel to the board, vote green. Opposed, vote red. Motion passes 7-0. Congratulations, Dr. Daniel. Appreciate it. He's in the audience. Get to work.
We have a meeting tomorrow night. Okay.
Once again, as Dr. Blanks reminds me, we had 4 good applicants, and I appreciate their willingness to serve. All right, ready for new business. 1513, acceptance of fiscal year 2014 audit. You say that information on page 43. The annual audit for the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2014. A representative, Ms. Linda Bean, is here. Will be present to address any questions. Copies of the audit have been provided and are available for review in the finance office as well. The city audit received an unqualified opinion, and the city of Tullahoma again had no audit findings. So, all right, Ms. Bean is here. Let me get a motion and a second on the floor to accept the fiscal year 2000 audit as presented. Proper motion, properly seconded.
Second.
Yes. Any discussion? Do you want to talk?
No, I was going to answer any questions anybody might have.
I think I looked at it. I didn't read it, Linda. I figured between you and Jody and Sue and the mayor. But it looks like we're in real good shape, so.
An unqualified is not a negative.
Correct. It's a
Explain,
clean opinion.
you can explain it much better than I, but I found out to be a very positive statement.
Yes,
Would you explain?
unqualified. Unqualified is a clean opinion, which says that the financial statements are fairly stated. A qualified opinion has some item that is not necessarily negative, but not as good as an unqualified opinion. Clean, there's some reasoning for that. So an unqualified is always the one you want, the opinion that you want.
Thank you.
Other discussion, other questions? Are we ready to vote? All those wishing to vote for the motion as presented, vote green, opposed, vote red. Has everyone voted? 7-0. Thank you, Ms. Bean. Appreciate you. All right. Next item is the city attorney vacancy. You see that information on page 44. My recommendation and the recommendation of our city administrator is that we that we negotiate with Mr. Steve Worsham, and let me, all of you know Mr. Worsham. He is one of the most dedicated people and involved individuals that I know in Tullahoma. He has lived in Tullahoma his entire adult life. He has earned a law degree from UT College of Law. After serving as an officer in the U.S. Army, he entered into law practice in Tullahoma with Richard Robertson. He passed away, but Mr. Worsham has been in practice for over 40 years. Now with partners Terry Gregory, who is also a Moore County General Sessions Judge, and Mike Giffen, in the firm of Robertson, Worsham, Gregory, and Giffen, where Worsham is the senior partner. He will continue to be active in his law practice while also representing the city as city attorney, if given the opportunity. He previously served as Tullahoma City Attorney for over 30 years. He was also elected president of the Tennessee Municipal Attorneys Association. Both of his children attend Tullahoma City Schools and are graduates of MTSU, and he has 3 grandchildren currently in the Tullahoma City School system. He served for many years, over 20 years, on the Coffee County Election Commission, and has served on many, as you see the list here, civic and professional boards and commissions. He's a member of St. Paul Catholic Church, the Tullahoma Noon Rotary Club, the American Legion, and serves on the Tullahoma Airport Authority, the Tullahoma Tree Board, the Tullahoma Community Pride Foundation, and the Montlow College Foundation Board of Trustees. So my recommendation is that the city administrator be empowered to negotiate an agreement with Mr. Steve Worsham and to authorize myself to execute the same. So the chair would entertain a motion that we do so.
I'd like to make that motion.
Second.
Proper motion, properly seconded. Any discussion? We ready to vote? All those wishing to vote green, yes, vote green. Opposed, vote red. Has everyone voted? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you very much. I look forward to working with Mr. Worsham again. Okay, resolution number 1639, a resolution authorizing a loan pursuant to a loan agreement between the City of Tullahoma, Tennessee and the Public Building Authority of the City of Clarksville, Tennessee in the principal amount not to exceed $2,988,500, authorizing the execution and delivery of such loan agreement and other documents relative to said loan, approving the issuance of a bond by the Public Building Authority, providing for the application of the proceeds of said loan for the payment of such indebtedness, and consenting to the assignment of the city's obligation under such loan agreement and certain other matters. This is the follow-up resolution from our meeting 2 weeks ago. Let me get a motion in the second, and then defer to Mr. Baltz if anyone has any questions.
So moved to accept Resolution 1639.
Second.
Proper motion, properly seconded. Any questions?
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, at your last meeting, it was an initial resolution, and this is the authorizing resolution, so that it'll carry the terms into effect. Yes, sir.
Remember when, in the last 2 or 3 years, we renegotiated the interest rate to where we could swallow the pig down the road? Is this going to affect that at all? Much? Any? Some?
Ms. Wilson has been very diligent in tracking the city's debt schedule, and so we feel confident that this will not have any adverse effect on that. So we think we're in pretty good shape. The economy stayed good.
All right, shop local. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
This is the last reading, correct? It's
Correct.
for adoption now.
Correct.
I'm sorry.
This is the last reading. It's up for adoption now.
That's correct.
Okay.
And it includes the change order that we had last time.
Yes, you may recall when we approved the initial resolution, we built into it contingency for a project, things that may come up. So you do have a small contingency fund within there.
All right, all those wishing to vote for the resolution as presented, vote green, opposed, vote red. Motion passes 7-0. Any other new business, Mr. Bonks?
No, Mr. Mayor.
All right, we will adjourn the regular meeting and go immediately into the beer board portion of our agenda. First is the consent agenda, item 15 BB03, minutes of January 26th beer board meeting.
Move to approve.
Offer motion?
Second.
Second. All those in favor of the consent agenda as presented, vote green, opposed, vote red. Motion passes 7-0. Is Miss Catherine Harrigan here? She has an application in for a beer permit, but she's not here. So without objection, we will defer action until the next meeting, or unless you...
Well, this is just merely a name change.
Oh, just a name change?
Yes.
correct.
She's been in existence since May 2014
Okay.
and just wants a name change.
All right, I misread
What
that,
was
sorry.
it?
In-N-Out Burrito Express.
Oh,
You're already
okay.
changing the name?
Okay.
Chico.
On Chico.
All right, so, and if I'm, okay, so everything is paid up and they're good to go?
Yes.
All right, so the chair will entertain a motion that we approve the beer permit as requested.
So moved.
Second.
Proper motion, properly seconded. Any discussion? All those wishing to vote for the motion as presented, vote green, opposed, vote red. Motion passes 7-0. Any other business?
One thing that's, I know I asked Jody back, I don't know, into last year about trying to get the election cycles where we wouldn't have to be paying an extra cost of the election. You know, we brought that up probably a couple, 3 years ago, never did do anything about it, but it's $11,000 or $12,000 that we have to spend when we're off cycle with Coffee County and Manchester, and I'd like us to think about that sometime.
We've done some work on that. What we've used, and if the board wants to look at a different scenario, we use as our framework the last statement that the Board of Mayor and Alderman made. Now, at that time, the board was, constituted different persons.
Right.
They felt differently, but at that time, the will of the board did not want to have it where any existing alderman's term was extended because apparently there was some controversy in regard to that in Manchester when that occurred. So I've run scenarios of trying to figure out, okay, how you can get people on cycles, but it stretches it out pretty far. And then to get everybody on that cycle, and then also keep in mind we'll have to get the concurrence of the school board because that affects their terms. Obviously, it doesn't do any good to change just your terms.
And they're still
and if
on.
the school board people don't want to go that route, then you've not really accomplished anything because you're still going to have the election. So, obviously we're going to be we're not going to deliberate on Thursday evening, but obviously if the board wants to, kick that or, get their feelings in regard to it, that'd be a perfect opportunity to do so.
Well, I don't want Jody to spend a lot of time
No.
at this if y'all say it's thumbs down. I mean,
Well, I went to the election, talked to them today, and the only election in Tullahoma or Manchester is the 2 seats that Jimmy and I hold. That's it. So I'm along his thinking. $12,000 is a lot of money to have one election.
Yeah, but y'all are special.
So I don't
Thank all
know.
the peeps.
that's what my mom said.
Do what?
He said we were
But y'all are special.
Oh, thank you.
Well, what would the alternative possibly be? What other option could we possibly have?
Well, the scenario that we were studying was one in which no existing alderman would have their term extended without the benefit of an election having been held. And so what you'd have to do is set it up so that you have an election to where you go, okay, the person that finishes with the highest vote total maybe gets a longer term, and then the person with the second highest total gets a shorter term, and then after a certain date, they're all on a regular cycle. And so that's the thing that you run into. Keep in mind also that we're a private act city. And as a private act city, we're not under the general law of the state of Tennessee. So what we would have to do is have a charter change to incorporate new terms. Then we would have to send it to the legislature, and they would have to go through their process to have it approved, and then it would have to come back and be ratified by this board by a supermajority. So that, so you got that to deal with, because you're dealing with a lengthy process, and then in the meantime, you may have new aldermen that come on the board that may feel differently, and I think your legislators, wants to feel pretty comfortable that if they're going to ride that through all those committees and everything, that the board is still going to be a mind to approve it. So it's not a simple process.
Right, and that's my point. What seems like it ought to be a fairly simple process is not a simple process, and it's a long process. But if you'd like, to share that your research that you've done with the board, and they can look at it.
Well, I think you presented this probably 2 or 3 years ago, and we were like,
Have we ever all been on the same cycle before?
No, it's not like the
Never been? Well, and I was going to say that because county commissioners, had we all gotten voted out and a new group came in, you'd have and a new mayor too, you'd have you'd have more people in there that all newbies, nobody knew anything about anything. So it went at the same time.
It wouldn't be like that if we did. It would still be staggered.
Yes, I would recommend whatever scenario has some sort of staggered provision, because you don't want to lose all your corporate memory in one election or whatever.
Yeah, that could happen.
All right.
Sorry to bring that.
Can I just ask one other thing? Jody, could we ask Kurt or you to fill us in on the pool situation, where we're at, how we're doing? Are we on schedule, blah, blah, blah?
Okay. I'll Mr. Glick give a quick update of where we are on it.
I guess the first question I have somebody ask me, is the pool, inside pool, of course the outside pool is closed, inside pool closed now too?
Yes, both pools are closed right now.
Okay.
They are operating on schedule to open on Memorial Day weekend. So luckily, we've had real good weather this winter, and there is a lot of inside work to do too, because there's pretty extensive renovations to the indoor pool that aren't quite as publicized as probably all the exciting work on the outdoor pool. So there's a lot of stuff that they could do inside in inclement weather, but this winter we've had real good weather. So
somewhere, maybe it's on the Tullahoma website, Winston may can tell us, where y'all sent the drone up when they were pouring concrete.
Yeah, that was
a private citizen.
A private citizen.
I was going to say, do we have a drone?
Somebody had a drone. It wasn't Tullahoma.
Something I didn't know about.
Part of Tullahoma Air Force.
But it goes. What was that posted on? Facebook.
It's on the facebook.com/TullahomaTN.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's very neat.
It's also fire went on there as well. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's neat. I'm not advocating people going out and buying drones, but
If the board would like, we can schedule a site visit and do a kind of a walkthrough and meet the contractor and that kind of thing. We've kind of been reluctant to do that right now because, it's dark, and so, because we usually try to do those like before a board meeting or something when we already know we're going to be here. But daylight savings time will change with, I think, on March 8th. And so maybe we can set something up to where we can do it. And if it turns out that we don't want to do it on a board night, we can maybe just set up an opportunity. That we have spoken to the contractor about it. He just said, please give me a couple of days notice so I can kind of make sure everything's straight a little bit. But no, if the board would like, we can do a little project tour.
That'd be great.
One more little thing.
And you're still, anybody here interested in being a lifeguard? Mr. Glick
I don't
is looking for
swim, so
lifeguards.
I don't think I should.
Mathis, you want to come out of retirement on the lifeguard job?
Only if he'll run the concession.
Okay.
Thanks, Kurt. I just was curious to see.
Fourth Monday in March.
Thank you.
We normally do not meet because it's spring break. Is that going to be true for this time around?
Yeah, spring break's coming up.
Yeah. I think we need to send out
questionnaire.
Yeah. Good point. Thank you.
Work that out.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Have a safe evening. Mr. Battles, thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you. Good luck in the future.